Hello and welcome. So today we're working in one of the more difficult parts of the garden, which is a shady bank. So we've got two main areas. We've got a site down there that seasonally gets quite wet, quite boggy. So we're going to put in a couple of ferns in that can deal with those conditions. And over on the corner here, we've got what was a bit of a weedy mess, a load of buttercups, and we're going to be doing a kind of woodland planting scheme there, a log pile. So the first thing we're going to do is go for a no-dig method. So we're going to put down some cardboard. We'll probably mulch over that with just a bit of leaf litter and leaf mould, of which we've got hundreds of tons of it about the place. And then we're going to put a log pile on top and start planting through that. Yes, and we'll see it start to finish hopefully today.
Some mulch down here, as Patrick just said, and we're going to cover this over with some leaf mould, from which we're going to use in surrounding areas so that any particular plants or any particular seed beds are going to be brought into this particular area as well. We're then going to lay over the top of it these logs. We're going to create a sort of mini stumpery type of looking feature where people, when they come around the corners, can see this. We've also included back here this old gate that we found, which is very attractive, with lots of mossy things over the top of that. Into the old gate we're also going to, and we're going to put in some ivy, lots of other little different interesting plants and things, just to create a nice little corner effect. So when people come round, it looks natural, but obviously in keeping with Victorian ideals of a woodland garden. Hopefully this will be a nice attraction, and eventually it will sort of like feel in and blend with the natural environment.
So now we're starting to think about the plants we want. Something woodlandy and blending in with the natural surroundings, but just a little bit showier. In terms of the budget, it really isn't a high cost at all. Plants have either been moved from other parts of the garden or grown from seed at the nursery. And the mulch is just leaf mould and wood chips that have been left to rot, mixed with some local leaf litter that we found. And we already had the logs left over from a mushroom workshop. So we're going to be transplanting London Pride from other parts of the garden, as well as some usual suspects like ivies, primulas, polypody ferns, and then some other special plants like Digitalis lanata or Grecian foxglove, which will hopefully give something that looks perfectly at home in a woodland garden, but still a little bit of uniqueness to it. We're going to be planting a lot of ferns down in this bit here. As I said earlier, it kind of goes from dry to wet. So we've got two ferns we're going to be using. First up is one called Osmunda regalis, or royal fern. Quite a big one and native to the UK, and this cultivar's purpurescens. That's going to go in the slightly damper flush down the bottom. And we've got one from eastern coast of the United States called Dropteris goldiana. Giant wood fern is one of its common names, which gives you a clue of how it's going to grow. Kind of shuttlecock-like rosettes, up to a metre tall. We'll see how we get on. It shouldn't take too much exposure if you are planting it, so I wouldn't use it for a coastal scheme. I think that we've got enough shelter in here to keep it going. It's the cold, dry and easterly winds that will do these ones in while they're establishing. So without further ado, we'll get all these in. So for planting the ferns, it's a pretty simple procedure. We're going to dig a nice hole, make sure the soil's loose. This is actually one of the driest parts of the site, so I'm going to go ahead and mix some of the wetter, moister soil from closer to the stream bank. And we're going to mix some good leaf mould and just general woodland detritus in the hole as well to help give it a bit of a boost. And then what I tend to do, especially with kind of crown forming deciduous ferns, is plant them just a little bit higher, just to make sure that crown isn't going to get buried and potentially sit in any sogginess over the winter. And then I'm just firming around, making sure I'm not leaving any air pockets, making sure I'm getting that good contact between the soil and the root ball. And that's us. 44 more to go. And then we've got to get this all watered in, and that's us. Normally we'd just fill water jugs into watering cans, but we've actually gone and used a sprayer this year, as we're actually suffering a pretty rare drought up here in the Hebrides. And now all we have to do is cast our minds to next summer when this area's filled up and bursting with woodland joy. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.